Hello everybody and welcome to Ask Jem Volume 2. Now this is really delayed. I was going to do this before Christmas and then I decided not to because I thought if I put a tree in the background it would look outdated, and then I just got busy, but here we are. So thank you to all of my readers who've been sending in your questions. Let's get straight to them. So this same question came in from a few people. It came in from Joseph, age 8, and also from Ellie, Connie and James, plus Merrin in year 4. So thank you to everybody who asked this question. And Joseph says, "Dear Jemma, I absolutely love your books. You've inspired me to read. They are the best books ever. Is there going to be another one? I really hope so." Thank you very much, Joseph. I'm so happy that you're all enjoying my books. It means everything. And yes, I'm delighted to say that the adventurers will return on the 12th of May. So just in a few weeks' time, in the next adventure called The Adventurers and the Sea of Discovery. They are off to Greece and they are on the trail of a missing friend. It's action-packed right from the get-go and I hope you will enjoy it. So please do let me know once you've read it. I'd love to hear what you all think. And leave a review because it helps me very much indeed. The next set of questions come from Vivian, age 14. And she's asked me about my book, The Treasure of Tea Towers. So she asks, did Colette Spracken ask if you could write an easy to read book to help German school children? Or did you just come across the publisher and decide you wanted to write a book like that? Do you speak German and do you plan to write more books to help German school children learn English? So for those who may not be familiar, I did write a book to help German school children learn English. It's a book in English because I don't speak any German. I'd like to learn one day, but no German skills at the moment. Colette Spracken asked me to write the book as part of their Team Reader series, which is a series to help children at different levels of English. So there's different chapters in the book with different levels of English so that everyone in a class of children can follow the same adventure story. Apart from that, apart from the different levels of language, it's a normal adventure story. It's beautifully illustrated by Andrew Smith. Do I plan to write more books to help German school children? Maybe. It's not on my agenda in the short term, but I had a lot of fun writing The Treasure of Tea Towers, so, never say never. The next set of questions come from Mariam. Now, Mariam, you did write these questions to me quite a few months ago now, and it's taken me a long time to get to them, so sorry for that, but I will answer them all now, and there's quite a lot of them. She asks, it has rather intrigued me when you write your stories. Where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you get your imagination from? Those are the first two questions. I get my inspiration from anywhere really. It could be a place I visited, a conversation I'm having with somebody. Sometimes I just think of ideas as I'm writing them. I don't plan in a lot of detail because I like to see where my imagination takes me, and it keeps it exciting for me as I'm writing the stories. So anywhere and everywhere is where I get my imagination from. Her next questions are, did you know you wanted to be a writer when you were younger? Yes, I did. When I was in primary school, if anyone asked me, what do you want to do when you're older? I would have said, I want to be a children's book author. And then I think when I got a bit older, I stopped writing stories when I was at secondary school, university, and I was more interested in maybe being a journalist or something like that. I didn't go into that. I had a different career entirely, but in primary school, my earliest memories from those days wanted to be a writer. Have any of the places the adventures take place been from where you have been before? Yes, quite a lot of them. So I've been to Cornwall a few times. I used to go there every year almost with my family when I was younger. And I've been to London, spent a lot of time in London. Where else have they been? Europe. I have been across Europe. Costa Rica, I've been there. Egypt, I went to in 2009. The adventurers in their sixth adventure start off in Kefalonia in the Greek islands and the Ionian Sea. I have been there as well. So most of the time I have been to places, but sometimes I'll look up new places as well. Do you get inspiration for the characters from your friends and family? Not knowingly. I don't think there's a character in the books I've based on a specific person from my friends and family group. There might be little traits, little things I've put in there that I've taken from a person, but no, none of them are based on any specific people. Mariam also says, for me, I've tried to write a story before and I base most of the characters on my siblings. I guess this is a lot of questions, but I'm really curious about how you start your stories off. I love English and I love writing, but when I started to write, I guess I got writer's block and I just couldn't think of anything. Later, I thought about what I wanted to write about and I took inspiration from the world around me. Did it work the same way with you? It is hard to write a book. It's hard to write a story. And, you know, sometimes you do get stuck. I get stuck. Sometimes you just have to take a bit of a break from it. Do I think about the world around me when I'm writing? Yes, absolutely. I think about the adventures I would like to be having at that age, the age of the characters as well. Mariam ends her message saying, unfortunately, when I got to the middle of the story, I was stuck. I couldn't think of a particular plot that I wanted to happen, like when Lara realises the code word is, I'm not going to say what that is, that's a spoiler, in the Cursed Castle story. I got stuck and I wanted it to end as soon as possible, so I just rushed. The ending was terrible. Did this ever happen to you? Yeah, so I think so. I try to just write the draft as a rough draft and just get it done, because I find that if I go back and revise things too much before I finished, then it really puts me off finishing. So I think it's best for me, anyway, to go through, finish the first version of a story. And there's always parts in there I change, there's parts in there I've messed up, but you get to go back a few times as a writer and make things better, add things, delete things, tidy things up. So I do that a couple of times before it goes to my editor, and then she has her suggestions as well to make the story better. And, you know, you might want to make this clearer or add something here, or not sure about this bit. I think it's okay if you rush the first draft, but that doesn't have to be the final product. It doesn't have to be the final story. You can go back, you can change bits, and it's easier to do that as well if you write on a laptop or on a computer as opposed to a notebook. If I wrote in a notebook, my manuscripts would be really messy, so I tend to do all of them on my laptop. So those are your questions. Thank you so much to everybody who wrote to me this time. If you have any questions for me for future Ask Jem episodes, then please get in touch through either my website, www.jemmahatt.com, or through any of my social media pages. If you're under the age of 13, then please do ask an adult to get in touch on your behalf. And also sign up to my website to receive updates on Adventurers 6, The Adventurers and the Sea of Discovery, and when you sign up you'll receive a free Adventurers activity pack. That's all for now. Happy adventuring!